Right, welcome back to another unboxing video from the Clark and Addison Gaming Company. I had an issue with the package that was originally sent to me with the On-Base Baseball Pocket Edition. They had sent me the wrong season. So I connected with the Game Crafter and they promptly sent another box. So this is the box, hopefully. It should be 1975 in here, and let's see. We'll have to check it out. And drum roll, please. That's what it is, 1975. You can see that here. And so they sent me the correct season. So they're really great. I just sent in a contact through a contact form, help form, and they promptly sent it back out to me. So probably 4 or 5 days ago. So it hasn't. They must have just turned right around the same day and printed it, or put it into the queue to have it printed. You can actually have that every time that you order these if you want. I think it's an extra payment, but basically you skip the line. They'll either put you into the queue and you kind of wait your turn for it to get printed, or you can skip the line, so to speak. Skip the queue and go right to the front and have it printed immediately. Shipping still takes as long as it takes, but the printing part you don't have to wait in line. So this is the 1975 season, and I'll have to do some proofing on these before I okay everything. But this will be, as you can see, 1975. We have our 1970s game engine chart cards here. So both sides, you have batters on one side, pitchers on the other. So that's how the On-Base Pocket Edition works. So you get the players in red. Maybe there's a little bit of confusion about that, but the players in red are the most commonly used lineup for each season. So I go through and I put that in order, and then the players in black are the backup players, going from the players with the most plate appearances down to the ones with the least amount of plate appearances. So that's generally that's how these work, and that's what it means, the difference between the red and black. For the pitchers, you can see that the pitchers, in red it's the starting pitchers, and in black it's the relief pitchers. Some teams have more pitchers than others. You can see here difference between these two. So Oakland didn't use as many pitchers as California did, and maybe California had traded some pitchers, or they just weren't very good or something. I don't know. But oftentimes when you have so many starters, they didn't have that many relief pitchers, so a lot of these guys are probably going pretty long, 30, 28, 23. That's quite a bit. These guys too. So these starters are they could definitely throw a complete game, and we'll go a little bit longer in the games. We can take a quick look at the cards. You can see for the Oakland A's, 75 Oakland A's, this was just at the tail end of their 3 championships in a row, and still many of the same players, including Reggie, Joe Rudi, Claudio Washington there in the middle. They still have Vida Blue, Ken Holtzman, and Raleigh Fingers on their pitching staff. Blue Moon Odom there as well. For the Angels, see the Angels here. Not a lot to write home about on the offense, but the defense, Tanana, Figueroa, Nolan Ryan. It's a pretty good 1, 2, 3 there. For the 75 White Sox, not a lot going on here either. We got Bucky Dent there. Jim Cott pitching for them. Wilbur Wood, longtime White Sox. For the Royals, this was sort of at the beginning of their really good run in the 70s here. Freddie Patek, John Mayberry, Hal McRae, Harmon Killebrew on that team, George Brett, very young George Brett on that team, but still 18 batting runs. And on the backside, you had Dennis Leonard, Paul Splittorff, Nelson Briles. So some of the pieces that would be a part of those teams going from like 75 to 80. For the Giants, you got not a lot going on here. So Bobby Mercer, like end of his career, Bobby Mercer, and just not much going on there. Jim Barr, doesn't seem like they were a very good team. The Astros, Cesar Cedeno, Bob Watson, a couple good players. Enos Cabell on that team, Larry Durker, J.R. Richard, Dave Roberts, all pretty solid. For the Expos, you got Gary Carter, so youngish Gary Carter, Larry Bittner, Larry Parrish, Steve Rogers heading up their Dave McNally on that team, heading up their pitching staff. The Red Sox were the American League entrance into the World Series that year. So you got all the ones that you know: Carbo, Evans, Yastrzemski, Land, Rice, Petrocelli, Rick Burleson, some others down here, Carlton Fisk. So coming off the bench, Cecil Cooper, Carlton Fisk, Juan Beniquez. Those are all like really good, solid starters coming off the bench. Lee, Tiant, Wise, Cleveland, Dick Pole. So pretty good team there for the Red Sox. Rod Carew, 37 was his batting runs. So you're going to run into some kind of weirdnesses with Rod Carew. He's going to wind up probably hitting a lot of home runs. You could make some homebrew rules for Rod Carew because he wasn't a huge home run hitter, but his batting runs, he drove in a lot of runs without hitting home runs. So might have to come up with some homebrew rules for him, just to kind of keep him from hitting 30 or 40 home runs. Bert Blyleven leading the top of the Twins team. The 75 Orioles, still pretty potent. Bobby Grich, Don Baylor, Ken Singleton there at the top of the order. Al Bunbury on that team, Doug DeCinces, and then on the back, Palmer, Torres, Cuellar, Ross Grimsley. So still pretty potent in 1975. For the Phillies, this is sort of the beginning of what we saw with the World Championship in 1980 for the Phillies. So Boa, Luzinski, Dick Allen on that team, Mike Schmidt, Gary Maddox, some of the players who would later show up on that 1980 championship team. Carlton, Underwood, Christensen, Jim Lomborg on that team, Dick Ruthven. And for the world champion Cincinnati Reds, look at this. They got two guys 30 plus, another two guys who are in the 20s, Foster and Bench, Dave Concepcion on that team, Cesar Geronimo. And then they're pitching Gary Nolan, Billingham, Norman Gullett, with Clay Carroll, Pedro Bourbon coming out of the bullpen. We got all of our cards there, and the others are here at the back. So when you receive these cards, you will have to just kind of go through, and if you want to put things in order, you can. For the Cardinals, Lou Brock leading off, Ted Simmons, Reggie Smith on this team. Bob Forsch still pitching for them. Bob Gibson, 23 stamina, 4.5 FIP. getting toward the end of Bob Gibson's career. For the Dodgers, you're starting to get into really good Dodger teams. So Wynn, Garvey, Say, Steve Yeager on that team, Davey Lopes at the top of the order, Bill Russell also on this team. Messersmith, Rao, Sutton, Hooten, Juan Marichal. Not a lot of starts probably, but did get some work there. Rick Rhoden, kind of a swingman reliever. For the Yankees, again, this is just before a pretty good run for the Yankees as well. So Bonds, Alomar Sr., Thurman Munson on this team, Craig Nettles, Chambliss, and then Catfish Hunter at the top of the order for them, Doc Medich, Rudy May. Pretty good players. For the Metropolitans, Rusty Staub here in the middle of the order, Dave Kingman as well, and Joe Torre on this team. Seaver Kuzman at the top of the order, John Matlack. For the Cubbies, we got Jose Cardinal, Bill Madlock playing first, Rick Monday, and Andre Thornton. Look at that, playing first base, 28 batting runs coming off the bench. Probably not off the bench, just isn't part of the most common starting lineup. Rick Russell, Steve Stoney, Bert Hooten with a little bit there as well. For the Padres, Johnny Grubb leading off, Bobby Tolan playing there, Dave Winfield, Mike Ivey part of this team, Ted Kubiak, Willie McCovey playing for the Pods, Randy Jones there at the top, and then a bunch of guys I've never heard of. For the 75 Tigers, not a lot going on here either. Bill Freehan in the middle of the order, Willie Horton, Mickey Lolich at the top of the order, Burton Rule on this team. For the 75 Pirates still potent, Willie Stargell, Oliver, Parker, Zisk, Sanguian. It's a pretty good middle of the order. Stennett, Hebner at the top of the order. Art Howe is on this team. And pitching pretty decent. Russ, Rooker, Kyson, Ellis, Candelaria. So pretty solid team there for the 75 Pirates. 75 Indians, Boog Powell, Rico Carty, Oscar Gamble in the middle of that order. With the Eck at the top, probably a youngish Dennis Eckersley. Gaylord Perry on that staff as well. 75 Brewers, George Scott in the middle of the order, Darrell Porter, another Robin Yount, and not much to write home about for the pitching staff. 75 Rangers, Mike Hargrove, excellent year. Toby Harrah, really excellent year. Jim Sundberg, which my biggest memory of Sundberg is as the color commentator on the Rangers broadcast when I was growing up. Fergie Jenkins on this team, Gaylord Perry, Jim Bibby, solid starter. And for the Braves, not a lot going on here either. Dusty Baker on this team, Roland Office. And pitching, Phil Niekro is here, Blue Moon Odom. I've seen him on 3 different cards now. And Carl Morton leading the top of their pitching rotation. So that's the 1975 On Base Baseball Pocket Edition. Like I said, I will go through and double check and make sure everything is okay. But you got everything here on the inside. So you got kind of a quick play of how to do different things in the game. You just basically take the cards and you kind of swaddle them up like a baby like this, and you hook the box, and there you go. So that is super portable. This is a 75 edition, but you can get 19 72 is available, 1980, 1986, 1991, and 2024. So those are all available to purchase right now. I'll put the link down in the description. Excuse me, and you'll be able to go and check those out. There'll be a single Clark and Addison page, and then you can just click on whatever season you want. You can go and learn a little bit about it and place an order. Like I said, I typically get them within 3 to 4 weeks. These are all print on demand, so as soon as you order it, it gets put into the queue to be printed. Again, you can expedite the shipping process, or you can expedite the printing process, or you can do both and get it probably within a week. You could get it to yourself. So go ahead and check those out. And there's videos on this channel about how to play on-base baseball, going from just taking cards right out of this box and playing an entire game. There's a video there, so if you go to the on-base baseball videos, you'll be able to see those. If you haven't subscribed, click on subscribe. If you like this video, just give it a thumbs up. That's a super easy way to support what I'm doing here. And another good way is to just buy something. So these are $19.99, and you get an entire season in a box like this. And there's also some free downloads that you can get. So the game guide, the score sheets, those are all things that you can download at the page where you make the purchase. So you'll have the opportunity to download those. You can also go to clarkandaddisongaming.com, and you can download those things for free in the free section of the shop. I'm working on AIG basketball, so putting that together and finishing it. Also working on getting feedback from Top of the Key. I've just released the 1984 play action football season, so that's available and ready. And also I will be releasing the 2024 version of Precision Baseball very soon. So I've been working my way through the World Series from last year, and just need to get that out there. I think most everything is okay. Just need to do a quick double check on all of those things, that I have everything taken care of with the ballparks and that kind of stuff. Otherwise, I think that season is ready to go. So I'm hoping to have that done definitely before the baseball season starts. And I was looking, and probably the end of this month, we'll have the projected roster sheet sets for on-base baseball. And basically that's the Zips projections for the season, that you can begin to play that out. So those should be coming up pretty soon. And as soon as I can get those together and get everything out. So it's kind of all coming to a head. Baseball is definitely on my mind. The last thing, I've pushed a bunch of seasons to the clarkandaddisongaming.com website for the Game of Dice Baseball. So this is a fun baseball game that's based off of sort of a conditional system. So you roll the dice, it's a 50-50 system, so a batter or pitcher, and then you check the chart, and the chart may say if the batter or the pitcher has a statistic value that's greater than this, then it's this result. Otherwise, it's this result. So it's kind of a conditional based system, a little bit a la Play and History Maker Baseball, kind of similar in its concept. But that's super fun. You can play it with baseball cards. I think if you wanted to, you would just need to have, access to their statistics, and you would need the statistics to be on the card. I don't know if all the stats, K percentage, walk percentage, stuff like that, but all the things that you need to play the game are on the cards that come with the game, and you'll get every player carded. It's got a really sort of a fun, uncommon / rare plays charts, and there are hundreds of those different rare plays. And so they happen about 10% of the time. So they're not all rare. Some of them are just kind of uncommon plays or highlight type plays. Because at 10% of the time, it's just, it's going to happen a lot. You're going to get probably 5 or 6 of those every game. But it's super easy to look everything up, and there's some kind of conditional things or where you have to do another roll in there to see is it this or that, and just some fun things that are going on. That's a place for injuries. That's a place for extra errors. That's a place for like bigger triple plays and stuff like that. So kind of a fun addition to the game, and definitely one worth checking out. The cards are really nice. I've included where you can print them front and back, so that it has the logo on the back side of the card. So they make for a really nicely presented card if you do the fronts and the backs both. So that's called the Game of Dice Baseball. Each of those seasons is only $7. And they make for just, it's an entire season for $7. So we'll just leave it at that. It plays really easily, and you can play it, I believe, with 1d6 and 2d10s, or 1d6 and 3d6. I can't remember exactly. I think it's just 3d6 dice. So you have one kind of decider die, and then you have 2 that you roll together, 2d6s that you roll together. So definitely a fun game for you to try out. And I've added the 60s seasons that I have. So from 60, 65, 67, 68, 69. And then I've got 79 already on the website. And so I'll go through and I'll add all the ones from the 70s that I have. I believe it's like 72, 75, 77 maybe, something like that. And then I've got the entire 80s, and that'll be next after I upload the 70s. So those are on an old website at thegameofdicebaseball.com. But I'm moving everything over and kind of consolidating onto one website, and thought that might be I don't have really a new baseball game to release this year, so this would be kind of like having a new baseball game to release, and you can get those at clarkandaddisongaming.com. There'll be if you click the big green button to shop all games, you can either filter by all of the Game of Dice Baseball seasons by clicking the Game of Dice Baseball on the left hand side, or you can just see the newest games that I've posted to the website are all at the top. So those should be up there at the top of the page. Also, you can download AIG Basketball if you want to give the demo. It's in open beta. Basically, you can play 3 different seasons. One season from the 70s, one from the 80s, and one from the 2000s, so the aughts. So give that a try. Let me know what you think. You can send an email to clarkandaddisongaming@gmail.com, and that it's still in process. It's still being worked on. So any ideas that you have, definitely I'll take those in and put them, see if they'll fit into the game. All right. I think that's it from here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.